rivers across the gravel and across the rocks, picking up minerals. When it gets to them, they scoop it out of the river and they drink it. We had mentioned that if you were to go to one of those villages and sit down with the head people at the village, they would offer you as nourishment 2 glasses of water. One would be clear, one would be milky looking. Of course, we're Americans. We choose the clear one, right? Because it's got to be pure. But we made a wrong choice. We should have chosen the milky water because it's glacier water. It's glacier melt. It's full of minerals. It's naturally ionized. And so the Hunsacuts literally lived, many of them, over 100 years. Some a little longer than that even. And their lifestyle is why they did that. And I am sure that the water they drink played a great part in that. I'm positive of that. And we see that today. Again, we don't say water heals anything or anyone, but we know scientifically how it works. It's full of hydroxyl ions, which are antioxidants. It has a negative charge as part of that. And we know vitamin C and green tea are antioxidants. They run at minus 75 to minus 100 millivolts. They're good for us. But Kangen water runs at minus 400 to minus 900 millivolts. Your cells need to run at minus 25 to minus 50 millivolts to be healthy. When you're sick, they're not doing that. So you need to raise the cell voltage. How do you do that? What's the best way in the world to do that today? We drink Kangen water. There's no faster way to bring up the cell voltage. There's no faster way to bring your acidic body back to alkaline. There's no better way to flood your body with molecular hydrogen. Again, one of the greatest antioxidants in the world. There's no better way to unstick your erythrocytes, your red blood cells, so that they get round again and they are full of oxygen and moving and not sticking to each other because their negative charge is gone. We have proof that it works that way. We did the research. We looked at the science. I have my own Kangen water machine. I don't sell them, but I have it on my counter and I wouldn't be without it. And I've had it for 12 or 13 years now. Wouldn't be without it for the reasons that I just talked to you about. We even recommend the 11.5 very ultra high pH water. I won't say that we recommend it, but we would drink it if we had cancer. We would drink it if we had heart disease or any of these other chronic illnesses we talk about. Absolutely. We have seen people with end-stage cancer, 90 days to live. Their doctor sent them home to die. A year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, these people are still walking around and they're healthy. How does that happen? The doctors are incredulous when they see him a year later. What are you doing alive? You're not supposed to be alive. It goes back to what we talk about. You do the right things, generally, you get the right results. You do the wrong things, you get the wrong results. That's how it works, folks. And that's Kangen water. We talk about it all the time, and people want to fight us on it. And I don't get it. Listen, people that say, oh, you can't put that high alkaline water in your stomach. It'll destroy your stomach acid and you won't digest your food. And, you just can't do that. They say you have alkaline buffers, so you don't need high alkaline water because your body naturally has alkaline buffers. That's true. That's true. But the way we live today, what we eat and what we drink and all the chemicals we bombard our bodies with today breaks us. And so in a perfect world, yes, we have alkaline buffers and that should take care of us. But we don't live in a perfect world any longer. Actually, we're moving towards the antithesis of perfect at this point. And when it comes to our diet, when it comes to what we put on in our bodies each day, we're far, far less than perfect. So our stomachs break down. We have more stomach cancer than ever now. People are popping more Prevacid and Prilosec and Tums and Rolaids than ever now. And make note of this. If you're doing that, you're on your way to death because those things will seriously harm you. Seriously, even though in the interim you feel better, because there's no acid in there. They call them acid stoppers for a reason. They shut down your proton pumps and your enzymes. Your food's not digesting. You're not getting the nutrients any longer. It's not breaking down. We're going to talk about acid reflux. You need to take acid if you've got acid reflux. That's counterintuitive, right? Very counterintuitive, because you say, well, wait a minute, I got an acid problem. I don't need more acid. Well, actually, 95% of acid reflux are caused by not enough acid. And what happens is this food goes into your stomach and you don't have enough acid any longer to break it down. So it starts to ferment and rot in your stomach before it leaves. And because of that, the small amount of acid that is there bubbles up. And that fermenting process bubbles it up into your lower esophagus. That's where we get Barrett's esophagus, which is the beginning of esophageal cancer. It's an inflammation at the base of your esophagus. And that's why we have acid reflux, because it's bubbling up into your esophagus. And so instead of doing all of those other things, take some betaine hydrochloric, betaine HCl. You can find that at a super supplements or a vitamin shop. And you take that 1/3 into your meal. You take a capsule and then eat the rest of your meal. Don't eat it before, don't eat it after. Eat it in between. And some people need 2 or 3 capsules, but they find that it brings them relief, and it does it naturally. Your food begins to break down and your stomach functions better again. And ultimately, your stomach will heal and it will restore the proton pumps and the enzymes. That's what we do. And that's another thing that's been proven for so many people.
It works very well, and it works for these reasons we just talked about. And of course, doctors are trying to convince people now, oh, you can't drink all that high pH stuff because it neutralizes your stomach acid and it's going to foul you all up inside, right? Have you heard that? That's a bunch of baloney. Ask Mr. Oshiro, who's been drinking it for over 40 years. He looks pretty good to me. No stomach acid problems.